Okay, Minorcan Navy, here we go. I wanted to save the best for last, and this is our telescopic camera in 4K, and this is the start of our day when we first got out there. When we first arrived out at the site, the 533 was being used, and they had a basket down with guys checking something on the span. It looked like the demolition team was up there and they had a little something going on. Maybe just checking over last minute things, final wiring. But then we did see the spuds come up on the Weeks 533 barge, and she backs away to go and hang out with the other cranes. Now we had this point where we're kind of looking around and we start to see crewmen right there on the bow, and then kind of moving around. We can see them moving down the ship and heading, I guess, to a secure area on the ship. But that's something we did not pick up just by looking. It took this camera to kind of catch that and bring it to our attention. But then we just see some of the traffic that's moving around. We did see what appeared to be a fuel barge that departed the port of Baltimore during this time. You're going to see him kind of steam out. And there was some other traffic that kind of moved through, maybe recreational boats in that opening. The time, it seems like that we saw some what appeared to be recreational boats transitioning through the area. As the sun started to move in through the day, shadows started to move across the ship. Made for some interesting images. But of course, all eyes were on the 5 o'clock hour for the detonation of the bridge span. So we kept an eye, and if you keep your eye up towards the center of the span, as the wind kind of picks up, there's actually a piece of it that of that span that's hanging vertically up there that seems almost loose, and it was kind of swaying back and forth in the wind. That was kind of crazy to see. There we see what appeared to be the fuel barge coming by, and then all the birds following. It looked like the Douglas J, the Don John tug, coming by. And then for the most part, traffic really slowed down except for patrol boats that were out kind of minding the area, making sure that no one got too close, and we're obeying that 2,000-yard safety zone that's been established around the site. Now, this is all just kind of leading up to that anticipated blast. And now I'll go ahead and tell you what we did. We have some frames in here where we actually stopped the video, and we can really see some detail with this camera. And if you guys are looking at this on a big device, smart TV or something like that, you guys, I think, are going to be really amazed, particularly in those areas where we saw those charges set. And we stopped one of these frames right at detonation, so you can see, and you can actually see those areas where the blast is coming through the steel. You can see where it is pushing material out to the side of the beam. And I thought that was simply fascinating. We stopped there, and then we're going to have another stop that comes up of the debris that was generated. I think a lot of that material that was blown out into the sky was some of the packing material or the wrapping material that they put around these charges. However, if you look in the or around the area of the water where that dolphin is, just to the left of where the span is coming out of the water, you're going to see a lot of shrapnel. There is a lot of material that really hits the water there at a pretty significant amount of force pushing it. When you slow it down and look at it, you can really see it, and it's pretty amazing to think of the amount of energy that was exerted here in such a short period of time to cut these massive pieces of steel. And when it cut it, yeah, you can see the ends. It just really just went through it like a hot knife through butter. But we're going to be coming up on it. I just want you guys to kind of keep that in mind when we get there, because it all happens kind of quick when it does happen. More patrol boats in the area. Of course, this is us just getting set up with this high-speed camera to catch some of this afternoon-like activity. We started the morning, took a little break, and then kind of came back and got it going. And you can tell by the span how it's beginning to catch the glow of the afternoon sun. They were heading into detonation time. Everything seems to be pretty quiet on the ship. There is like a piece of canvas or something that is blowing off in the area of those containers. We did see that, and it caught our eye as well. But we're coming up on it here, guys. Bear with me just a second. And I think you guys are going to be kind of amazed at what you see when actual detonation takes place. Again, just looking and waiting is the hardest part. Regular speed here. And the birds get a blast and they fly away. But look at that debris. Did you catch that debris that's flying over? Let's take a closer look at some of this as it happens. Now this shot right here, if you look just to the left of where those balls of fire were, you could see that those blasts, and then look at the debris flying and just how high it goes. And a lot bigger splash than I originally saw out of the other camera. Well, as the smoke clears, you know, this video right here I really like. I think it shows a lot more detail into the actual detonation of the span. You guys might want to check your settings. You guys can probably slow it down even a little more with what you have there on your settings on the YouTube little control. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys think about this shot. You guys have been kind of fans of this modified camera that I use here, so I thought I would want to include this, and actually thought this was the best image of it. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us here. Hey, yeah, leave us some comments and give us some thumbs up. And if you haven't done it, think about subscribing to the channel. That's all we got. And hey, we want you guys to be safe out there.